Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the podcast. We are supported by Proper Design Works. For all your custom clothing and embroidery needs, look no further than Proper Design Works. They got two great sides to their business. They've got the bulk side, the commercial side, which is t-shirts, patches, hats, hoodies, toques, anything en masse you need for starting a new business to outfit your staff, your sports team or a hobby club, or any sort of mass grouping where you all want to look the same and really cool and flashy. 12 t-shirts, 50 hats, 100 patches. No order is too big for these guys. They can cover you from head to toe, literally, with everything that they make. And you can see all this stuff at Proper Design Works on Instagram. And then the other side of the business is the custom clothing side. If you're looking for a new tailored pair of bespoke jeans, or say like a new hoodie with some really weird flair, some crazy stitching, or a zipper out of place. These are things that you can do with custom clothing. And then when you're done, it's made by you, and people are going to be like, where'd you get that? And you'll be like, I made this, or some variation of that. So if you need a lot of things or a few things, check out Proper Design Works on Instagram. That's Proper Design Works, spelled the normal way. And then when you're ready to place an order, it's info@properdesignworks.com. Second, we are supported by Bodegos Restaurant, 211 Bannatyne in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in the Exchange District, the historical Exchange District, one of my favorite places in the city. They're a restaurant, but they're a really cool concept. If you've never been, I refer to them as a global food eatery. That's my opinion. And what that means is their menu is from different parts of the world. They've got stir fries and pitas and soups and salads from different pockets of the world, and fish and chips and all these really great healthy versions of cultural foods. They're fucking delicious. I personally prefer the Kung Pao chicken stir fry. I eat half of it every time I make my way home. You've heard me say this before, and it's not going to change because it's fact. It happened last week. So if you're heading downtown and you want a new place to go check out for a new bite and a new experience in a new area, head to Bodegos, 211 Bannatyne, www.bodegos.com. Manitoba raised, Manitoba sourced. Like I said, super healthy, right? This isn't your packaged, run-of-the-mill, get them out the door kind of restaurant. This is a fun establishment with like an open kitchen, so you get to see all the action going on. Again, that's 211 Bannatyne. Next time you're downtown in Winnipeg looking for something to do, Bodegos Restaurant. We are on the Manitoba Podcast Festival, September 26th, September 27th. We're doing the Podcasting 101 panel. All this information can be sought on Facebook. Search Manitoba Podcast Fest and follow them on Instagram for updates on who's talking, what we're talking about. And you can get introduced to like the Manitoba podcast scene because we're super tight and this is going to be a lot of fun. September 26th, September 27th, all virtual, all online. So you can do it from the comfort of your own home without having to put pants on. And that's awesome. Less pants, more fun. This week on the show, we did a show back in February all about relationships and looking at movies and talking about love. And we forgot one key factor, talking to the opposite sex to get their opinion. And that was an oversight on my part because I'm super excited to do the podcast. But I was like, wait a minute, there's 50% of this conversation not being had. So Chrissy Latimer, Mark's girlfriend, and her friend Jackie Armstrong came on the show, and we got to talk to them and get a sample size of what leading men should have in them, like for qualities these days, and some overblown tropes about love and relationships. Super fun. Super interesting, super insightful. I, for one, loved it because I was like, oh, yeah, that's more important than, roses and a Lamborghini or whatever rich people can afford in movies. So that's what's on the show this week. I've got nothing else for you. Talk to you the real, and you enjoy the show. Wouldn't have had Dick Insider if I hadn't pressed record. Yeah. Okay. So bring it up a little bit more.
Honestly, Jackie, when I talk in it, my nose is actually pressed against
I feel like it was offensive to my face, and I was like, this is too much, so I brought it down.
This is perfect where it is right now.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
Good.
Okay.
I like the tactile feel of the foam on my face
like
as I'm talking.
It's almost like a Dick Insider, but it's you know what I'm saying?
Just outsider.
Once it hits your lips. So good.
Tastes so good.
I just know that joke's gonna make a comeback.
Yeah.
Anyways, wine is behind you.
Okay.
So feel free to get up and go grab wine. There's nothing you can do. You can go pee.
I will
you can
for
get
sure
wine.
have to pee at least
You can
once.
move.
We'd prefer you
can
do it in the washroom down the
Okay.
hall.
That's the only
Don't. Okay.
rule number 1. Don't pee outside of the
Don't be
washroom.
in the chair.
Yeah, that's not pertaining to podcasting in any way. That's just a general life rule.
Society. Don't pee in the chair. Okay, I got you.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
Got that.
Is
Got
that
that.
busy?
Busy?
Busy Phillips. Yeah.
Busy Phillips.
Totally.
That is Busy
Yeah.
Phillips. Yes. While we're recording, guys, for some inspiration to today's episode, let's just get into. Let's transition.
Let's just jump into it.
Yeah. All right. I got my. I don't even have a T-shirt on, so it's gonna work perfectly. So today's episode is a throwback to the one that we did around Valentine's Day, where 4 guys sat around trying to give their perception of what movies talk about with love and dating and sex and relationships and all that stuff. And I was like, we are missing an incredibly crucial part of that conversation.
We are.
And hang on, I think my mic is fucked up right now. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Which was the female half of that
The
conversation.
female perspective, yes.
Yeah, and it took us 6 months to get here. I mean, COVID aside,
Yes.
we just got in our way. So I was like, about fucking time we get more female perspective on movies, because movies affect everybody. So Chrissy Latimer,
Hello.
hello, and you brought.
I brought Jackie Armstrong.
Hello.
Hi, Jackie. You're fine. You can do this. I can
All right.
I can already
I
see
feel
that
no,
like
I'm good.
half nervous look
yeah.
on your face. You're fine. So as long as you're fine with everything being recorded for infamy, because real debaters will be long hereafter we're all dead.
Nice.
I just won't have it in my will to take it offline before I die.
Perfect.
So anyway, so like I said, this conversation is affectionately titled "What Women Don't Want," inspired by the Mel Gibson classic "What Women Want," about a guy who all of a sudden gets not hit by lightning, shocked by a toaster.
Shocked by a toaster.
I thought
Yeah.
it was the hairdryer.
Was it the hair? Yeah, why is there a toaster in a bathroom?
He's like trying out a
Yes.
new hairdryer,
You're
and
right.
the electricity goes and then he bangs his head on the tub or something.
Yeah.
right?
He reverses it with the toaster, I think, or I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever. But anyways.
Either way, electrocuted into thinking, I know what women want. And then all of a sudden he can decipher the female brain.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's from the 90s. So we definitely
Sure.
know that you can't hold that to today's standards. But let's talk about how women receive fucking films and the bullshit that is derived from some of these scenarios. So I figure the best way to do this is just kind of get a perspective of like what you kind of want in a man, Chrissy. Where like what would you want to see? Let's start easy.
Okay.
What qualities would like 2 that you would want to
Sure.
see on the screen that reflect an actual real man and male qualities that are admirable?
Right. I think it starts out with someone who's not into crazy. I think that the thing that I see the most in movies that makes me the most angry as a woman is men who just accept this absolutely crazy broad. She just does crazy shit. She's fucking nuts at all
So
times.
10 things I hate about How to Lose a Man in 10.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
There it is.
Right on there. But there's also a ton of other ones where, like, right from the get-go, she's just bananas. And he's like, oh, this is some mountain I have to climb to keep this crazy girl. Where in the real world, if you met someone and they were bucknut crazy from day one, you'd be like, peace out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes and no.
But no, if they developed crazy over time, you'd be...
Yeah, but some people are just looking for that. They're opposite crazy in someone else.
There's very few times that girl's Africa hot and crazy.
Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers meets...
Elsa Fisher.
Yes.
But...
Right? Isla Fisher.
Isla?
Yeah.
Isla Sorna or
Like
Isla?
Isla
Are we talking Jurassic
Morelos.
Park or are we talking?
Let's be honest.
Wow.
every
But she's like, yeah, I'll find you. Right? But they love each other's crazy.
But aren't they both crazy though? And that's
Yeah.
what
Well,
makes it work?
exactly.
Like that's the
And-
thing.
But her
but
crazy is
version-
heightened.
Right, but her version of crazy is like jerking him off at the table in front of his buddies, not buying him a
That's
plant
not
and
so
losing
But it's
his
still a
mind.
crazy.
No, I'm down for her crazy, 100%. I'm like, yeah, it's my girl.
So what you're saying is the wrong type of crazy.
Crazy.
Everybody's got
being like
their own
being a
crazy.
freak is different than being a psychopath who screams and yells at a man at all times.
Do you mean like the bad mental health that seems? I had a conversation. Well, somebody told me something the other night about how online dating right now is just a bunch of people who get together, and then it's a waiting game to see who dumps their bad mental health on the other person on the first date.
God.
You could set it to your watch, right? So you're talking about that kind of crazy,
Yeah, I'm talking about the guy who
like diapers,
like fourth date. He's telling all his buddies how nuts she is and he can't stand her and blah, blah, blah. And then they make some ridiculous bet. I bet you can't last this long. I bet you can't make her normal. Like, no one does that. I can tell you guys from being around guys who do date girls that are crazy that you guys are like, oh my God, I wish that dude would just get his shit together.
I still have PTSD from the crazy I've experienced. Like, I see it. I'm like, I can see it 1,000. I'm a sniper for crazy now. I can see it 1,000
Yeah, but
yards
don't you
out.
think as you get older, like again, like those movies are from younger, but as we're now all of us in our 40s, you point it out a lot faster. Like, crazy.
True.
Oh, sure.
But I
That's
think
time for bullshit.
I think what you're saying, Chrissy, is the patience of a man in real life is nowhere near the patience of a man on screen. Where the guy's like,
Yes.
and as we always have to say, we know it's condensed in a 2-hour, hour and a half format. So you have to have conflict, right? We're combating the ideas of real life against conflict, which is what makes a story good.
Yeah.
But in that regard, none of us would put up with,
Right off the bat.
There's a title for this in the movie industry. I'm glad I was like, should I pull these? Yeah, I'm gonna pull these. That's the romantic stalker.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not cool. Like,
There's no dissuading true love, not from this guy. No matter how many times she tells him over she's not interested or she's actually involved with someone else, he knows that no just means try harder. Now, I'm just that topic can be for women and men in this regard.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Right. So that's like all the shit that Goldie Hawn's daughter Kate Hudson does in 10 Things I Hate About You in real life. If you moved in your shit to my bathroom the second day,
No.
catch you later.
yeah,
No.
peace.
Yeah.
So okay,
And
so
and the thing is that
Why does he put up with her shit?
Because it
Because
was a
Kate
bet.
Hudson.
Because it was
there's
a
a
bet.
bet.
it was a bet to see who
There's
could
a-
get a diamond ad in a magazine.
the bet was to see who would
right.
break up with who first, right? That's fine. But in these movies, these girls aren't even putting out. I hate to, I'm not trying to set women back 50 years, but if someone is like
I thought we
rocking,
were gonna have a female perspective.
Well, she's got a dick inside her, clearly.
if someone's rocking your world every 20 minutes, then you put up with more bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But these women are
kinda
also
relative.
like, oh, I'm gonna wear like flannel pajamas to bed and do all of these other things and make you crazy, and you're gonna put up with it because it's a movie and you kind of want this guy to be a hero. So for me, it's like there's two things. I want a rational man.
Okay, that's
And-
okay.
Like I just want someone who like you could even fathom it. And the other thing for me is that I want a man who has a backbone. So much of like for me rom-coms or movies for women are like he's either just emotes 24/7 or he's just so like he's like a child man or whatever it is. Like he never is a strong leading man who makes strong decisions.
I agree. Mark, what do you think?
Yes.
That was deep.
That's
deep.
If Chrissy thinks it's right, then it's right.
Backbone. Right there.
I think that's a backbone. Zing! I can't wait to get the soundboard going because for fucking moments like that, boop. Like a backbone where a wishbone is, right? Something that doesn't easily snap.
That's right.
Because guys do they make them like as much as they make women crazy, they make dudes cave for pussy pretty quick, right?
Or just be man-child all the time. Like he just was nothing until she met him. Like failure to launch.
I was just gonna
like,
say failure to
just a-
launch.
Just like a total
Do you guys live
loser.
together?
But just a total loser who came along and then this overbearing woman made him into something, and I just don't think that happens.
But the buffoon is likable. That's the problem. I see what you're saying. Like the buffoon character, the buffoon is the new dog from a Shakespeare play. And the only reason I know about the dog is because I saw Shakespeare in Love. It's not like I'm some big thespian over here. And the queen wants a dog in all of the plays. And they always say a dog brings comedy to a situation. So when you insert a buffoon, an idiot, a guy who's
Right.
useless and has no backbone, and then all of a sudden becomes better because of said woman. I'm not arguing it,
Yeah.
but
No, I hear what you're
it's
saying.
just the other side of it. Jackie, first time talker, hopefully longtime fan. What do you think two qualities should be on a man on screen? Just did my Howard Stern there. I don't know.
Like without trying to mirror Chrissy, like I think that
It's fine because if you do, that just solidifies
no, it is
this
like,
bullshit even more.
Right.
like that all men
I think you
need-
should oppose her opinion.
Okay, yeah. Fight.
that all men need the drama. Like not all guys need the drama. Like they don't need some, not even just crazy, just the oh, I'm not really too sure. Like just, and I get that a movie is a storytelling and it's better with drama, but you know what? Hey, you know what? Not all, we don't want drama. Women don't want all the drama. We just want something simple. We just want something that each other likes and
Someone who's stable.
stable and smart. Like
Yes.
I'm sorry, like to me, like the smarts are where it's at. Like I
Absolutely.
can't deal with the
With the
the
dumb.
stupidness. I'm trying to
Dumb.
say this
No,
nicely, but
no, you can.
You don't
you
have
can-
to speak candidly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just no, be smart. Like know what's going on in the world. Like don't be a fucking idiot. Like just know things. Like, know what
it.
you want, and don't just cater to the girl because she's pretty or she gives
'Cause
you
she's
bomb
Scarlett
sex or
Johansson.
whatever. Like just know what you want, and I think that might, you know, that's where movies get it
so
wrong. Like
confidence and surety.
I agree. Yes, I would think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, like just know what you want. Not everything has to be drama. Like
What I'm hearing here, Mike, is that what
Oh,
women,
tell me, doctor.
what women really want wouldn't make for a very good movie.
no,
it
you're
would,
right.
No, it totally
Nobody would go
wouldn't.
see it.
And you
Like,
know what?
this is the worst movie ever.
I'm gonna gush sycophantedly about. I interviewed a director from Winnipeg, Sean Garrity, 2 weeks ago, and I went and saw his movie. I Propose. We never see each other again after tonight, and I've realized that you will never get a movie about these topics in its entirety. Right? It'd be boring. We wouldn't want to see it. We'd all be complaining. Yet we're bitching about this is what we want to see on screen. And then when they give it to us, we go, "Fuck you! That's boring."
Yeah.
Right? And now it's a $100 million mistake. But and I always equate this to Avengers Endgame. It is the perfect movie in regards to they gave you everything you wanted as an Avengers fan. They closed all loops. They may have left time travel out there to be argued for eternity, but at least you got a little bit of everything. You didn't get a lot, but you got a little bit. So doses of it are refreshing. Even if it's 30 seconds in a scene, we know you're on a time crunch. But if you showed a moment where a man was more
totally.
confident or he turned down some crazy
Yes.
and
Yeah,
just
I'd be like,
walked
this
on
broad
it,
is too fucking crazy. Like, no, I'm
Yeah.
good.
one
I'm
line
out.
of dialogue fixes it all.
Yes.
Right? But they
Yeah.
don't want to go down that road because it's dollars and cents to a
Totally,
studio.
yeah.
But as fans, it's stop remaking Top Gun and give me a fucking accurate
Yes.
representation of life, right?
What women want, Endgame.
Yes.
It would. It
3
would,
hours of closing loose ties and stories.
Well, no,
3 hours of
I get
stable,
to see-
confident men.
yeah, well, it's really, not even Ant-Man's a fucking, it's Paul Rudd and he's still confident as shit, right?
Totally.
Well, you look at what's that? The 40-year-old virgin. When good old what's his name? Is it
Steve Carell.
no?
Carell. I always do that.
The ugly guy, the funny one, the stoner.
Seth Rogen.
Thank you. He's
Fuck
like,
the plant.
He's
I
like,
don't feel
I
that
don't think he's ugly either.
is ugly.
okay, he's not ugly, whatever. But he's like, I am ugly as shit, but I get with women because he has confidence.
Confidence.
Like
Ah,
that
yes.
is like I have a friend whose name
Fuck
will
you
go
into-
unnoticed.
Yeah.
Fuck
He's-
you into goat ass.
He's not very attractive, but he's funny as fuck, and he gets hot chicks all the
Yes.
time. I've known him for 20 years. His girlfriends are babes. I'm gonna tell him to listen to this because he's fucking funny.
Even the annoying ones that work at liquor marts?
Oh, did you have an?
If she's not super pretty.
Oh, sorry, I don't
but
want to out anybody on here.
She's probably crazy, and that's why he liked her.
She probably listens to this too, so you're screwed.
We only have like 8 fans, so unless she lives in Utah.
Quit insulting my fucking family while over there, buddy. 8 fans. To all the fans out there, we
I
know
mean, we
you're
have way
than me.
more listeners, but only 8 fans.
Okay, yeah. No, that's very true. The fan pool, the t-shirt wearing people are small, but the listener base is big.
Well, there's about 8 of us on the show. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Mark, let's talk about I wanted to get a woman's perspective because I wanted to do a 50-50 here and see if we meet in the
Yeah.
middle. So, like, are there any things you see about guys on screen that you're like, man, that's like, just get a little, dial it into more reality?
You know what I don't know.
Because I don't feel we're represented on screen.
No, we're
Bigger guys,
what
nicer
Well,
guys.
the problem is we're
Like-
represented by the goofy, ugly friend Seth Rogen. Like we're
Speak for your fucking self.
there's nothing that you and Seth Rogen have in common whatsoever.
Zero things.
No.
He's funny
I
as
can't
fuck,
write.
though.
I
He's so
can't-
funny.
I can't do stand-up. I can't get into a Judd Apatow film. I can't.
Let's focus on the things you do have.
Is
in
he
common.
Pineapple Express?
He's Pineapple
Yeah.
Express, yeah.
It's you right there.
That's really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you saying Mike gets high a lot?
Probably.
What do
I
you
mean-
consider a lot?
I feel like you could be an awesome drug dealer, though.
I
Like so lighthearted and fun. And
I'd be like, yeah, no, I feel I would give a lot of great customer service.
Yeah.
Like as a drug dealer, like, have you guys seen, like, the tangent here? Have you seen High Maintenance? I know I'm talking about TV. I know, but have you seen High Maintenance on HBO?
I
No.
No.
So it's like the lighthearted drug dealer who runs, and it's from a drug dealer's perspective
okay.
Well, I
about
was
all
g-
the weird customers he
I
has.
was going to give you Sudeikis' character from We're the Millers, where he's got all of the little separate little glass containers.
That's what this guy
of
has.
Different weed and
like connoisseur.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like
auteur.
a sommelier for
Yes,
weed.
yes.
Yes.
I'm sure those. I want that job. I would.
I want
would-
you to have that.
I
A
job.
want
weed
that,
sommelier.
Yeah, no, it's got to be out there. Okay, so
So you know what? I just don't think that we're represented effectively in movies in the sense that there's always some dashingly handsome, romantic lead man that, in reality, could probably get away with a whole bunch of shit that he doesn't get away with in the movies,
Yes.
and vice versa. There's stunningly gorgeous women in movies that somehow aren't getting their way, which in reality it wouldn't play out that way.
okay,
Because really, when it boils down to it,
so you want a life representation of what's going on the streets.
we rarely see relationship movies about relationships that are in the third year of a relationship,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
We
it's-
see the meeting movies, right?
Okay,
So at the beginning, there's certain things that take priority over other things, such as attraction.
lust.
Sex.
Partying, having fun, representing yourself as this person who you might not be because you're trying to sell a bill of goods. Most of the time you sell it wrong.
We call that the interview phase.
Yeah.
When's the last
Yeah.
time?
Lady
When's the last
interview.
time we got into a romantic comedy about we now going to peer into Mark and Chrissy in their 4th year of their relationship. They're living together and both headed to work this morning.
The dishes are full in the sink, and we're just wondering who's gonna put them away when they get home. I don't know.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay
hang on.
tuned to see if they peck each other on the way out the door.
Hang on, I'm getting a picture in my mind's eye here. What I'm seeing is real life representation, and I will attest to this. I wish Sean was here for this. Who's not when will they get put away, but watching the square off between
Yes.
who's going to go there first and put them away,
Totally.
right? Watching the silent cues, the acting of walking past it. Like all of you both, it's like both of you know. So one of you put it in and one of you turned it off, but neither of you are going to empty it. That would be a real life
Yes.
4-year, right? Only because you've got something on your mind and you've got something on your mind,
Yes.
and it's not the dishwasher where at the beginning phase you want to show off that you're mindful of the dishwasher.
Totally.
That would be something that I'd be like, that's fucking real life, bro.
Totally.
And once in a
But
while,
that's not great on screen.
in those rom-coms, they interject like the friend of the main male lead has the relationship with the wife, and they just had a baby, and
Yeah.
they're going through the real life part.
Yeah.
What's the
This is 40.
Ashton Kutcher?
This is 40 is a great one, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good in that movie.
I've seen it, but I don't remember. I was thinking there's he's hilarious too. Plays Ashton Kutcher's buddy where they get married in like Vegas or
What
something.
happens in Vegas?
What happens in Vegas? Yeah.
Right, the guy who plays his buddy in that, who's like his lawyer / friend.
The buddy comedy always like. So you're talking, I guess.
And I think he's going through like the relationship at home kind of thing, or you look at it was just on TV where they're both peeing in the fountain and they switch places. It's
Die Hard.
Ryan Reynolds and
Switch.
Bateman.
Bateman. Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right,
Yeah.
so they one goes from the meeting pool to the other one's the relationship and that was an interesting
Rob Corddry.
Rob Corddry. Yes, he's hilarious.
Do you have
Yeah.
a picture? I'm a face person.
He
He did a lot of classic Shakespearean work, I hear, Rob Corddry. Very funny.
Okay,
yeah,
got him. Totally.
got his start on The Daily Show.
Yes,
Hot
yes,
Tub
yes,
Time
yes.
Machine.
You know, there's some things though, like
Google. He changes Google to Lugal and Hot Tub Time Machine.
what Mark's talking about real life and it not being good in movies. If I think about like the realest things that I can remember from a rom-com or any of those movies, the breakup was bananas, right? It was stupid. But I want you to want to do the dishes might be the line that I will always think of in my real life. Like, you guys were talking about the dishes, right? Everyone's walking past them. Everyone's pretending like they
That's
don't
more
want to
value
do them.
to you than
I want you to want to do that for me. And when I heard that line in that movie, I was like, I understand how guys don't get this because no one wants to do the fucking dishes,
No.
right? Like, it's not fun. But I'll always remember she wanted the 12 lemons and he didn't bring her the fucking lemons. And then he was like, what do you mean you want me to want to do this? I'm like, just bring me the fucking right amount of lemons. And then I made this big party and did everything for everyone. Do the damn dishes. Want to do them for me. So that may, like, I know we're talking about like where we got it wrong and stuff, but for me, that's one of those things that's like, that 100% resonates with me, makes sense to me. And when I talk to women about it, they're like, yeah, man.
No, I totally agree. Like, no one wants to do the fucking dishes. Who wants to do? I don't want to do them.
No.
But I also don't want them sitting there when I get up in the morning and have a great big sink of dishes. So
Right.
do I want them to be done? Yes.
it's
Just fucking help me. That's all.
Yes.
it's one of those tropes in life, literally, that like somehow by default with the 50s, 60s homemaker housewife-esque thing, it's like part of this thing.
Totally.
And it's like garbage, dishes, kitchen, all those things just, so I can totally understand when like I empty the garbage that Shauna does every day. It's one thing she doesn't have to think about, which is way more romantic than the dumb trope that you do in a movie.
Yes.
Like comparison to, say, Adam Sandler building a Waffle House to get Drew Barrymore's attention
Right?
in 50 First
Yeah.
Dates. Like, those are cute things, but those are doghouse things
Totally.
Right.
more than like everyday things.
Every day.
Which
yeah.
again, like,
Just take out the garbage bins. Like, it was garbage day yesterday. Corey's like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, yeah, I did it. Okay, fine. That's all good. I did it. Yeah, anyways, whatever.
It's getting real in here.
Shit is getting real.
it's funny that you girls both say that you want confidence. I want some accurate representation of insecurity. I want to know. I want to see scenes where someone's in their head and the guy's ripping himself apart, and
I'm
he's
down for that too.
and like there's always the confidence of guy meets girl, guy knows when to call, guy knows when to kiss, like the 90-10 rule from Hitch, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
that shit. And I mean, you can go deep on the internet and you can get into some seriously dark chat rooms about like coming onto women and all these things,
Sure.
which is like the dark side of it, which there's also been movies about.
Well, like the pickup artist type
The pickup
stuff.
artist type stuff. Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is like every guy meets a girl and then he's like, should I call? Shouldn't I call? What should I like? There are some representations of it, but it's like, I don't know what tie to wear. I don't fucking like.
Sure.
I don't wear a tie. So like,
Kevin
What's it?
James' character in Hitch is a great example
is, yeah.
of
Yeah.
somebody that I want to see more of.
yes,
in
that's what I'm talking.
rom-coms.
That's
Yes.
exactly what I'm talking about. Where he comes into himself
Yeah.
with a dick insider and. Sorry.
He's supposed to come
Wrong
out.
time? Okay, I'll call back.
He's supposed to go out, not in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how it works though.
that is the online recorded version of where a joke doesn't work. But yeah, no, that guy, that questioning self-nature, wondering, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Because no guy will ever be like, I know what I'm fucking doing. We don't know what we're doing.
Yes.
I think it would also
I
be
didn't get a
kind of
blueprint.
cool to see that guy maybe not get the girl. What's the movie where the guy like goes to the this is gonna sound stupid because they all go to the airport, but he goes to the airport. I think it's the guy from American Pie. He's like a total loser. At the end of the day, he ends up getting the girl. He's very,
Is
very
it the
nice.
college one that
Like
he's
Jason
in?
Silverman?
Yeah.
Saving Silverman?
No, that's a good movie too, though. But that's really just funny and not supposed to
Yeah.
mean anything. But the thing that I do find about the guy who never knows what to do always ends up getting the girl. So maybe for men, totally change his narrative. Maybe sometimes we should see him not get the girl and realize that all that ridiculous shit he did along the way wasn't really right. She just wasn't the girl. I think that's a good point. Considering, hey man, if a she's
Federal
leaving.
law.
She's just not that into
She's
you.
like if a girl's into you, you'll know. And
That's
I-
an overused trope in movies, the rush to the airport scene.
That's stupid.
Well, unless it's the terminal with Tom Hanks where he's in the airport.
Yes.
Right.
Then
right.
she's
Fine.
just rushing up
Fine.
the escalator. But no, I get what you're saying. The rush to the airport, rush to the train station, rush to save her. Like it is an overdone
Just
trope.
like,
I've been in one fight with Shauna where she left and I actually physically walked out and was like, am I in a movie? Like I chased after her.
I was going to say that. Want to talk about my number one pet peeve for all romantic comedies or any movie in general with a relationship between two people is a disagreement or a misunderstanding and they don't talk.
I agree. Totally.
Oh my God. Like they have like somebody misinterprets something and then one person leaves and the other person doesn't do anything to stop them
Right?
or explain.
First of all, you shouldn't be leaving. Just stay home and talk about it.
Yeah.
where are you going?
Yeah.
Have we all been in a fight and done that? Any of us? Have any of us been like, I'm leaving, and then the person you're in the fight with doesn't like can you? I've never
No.
like you
don't
go,
think I've
you fucking go.
And especially if you completely misinterpret what's going on and the person doesn't even try to
No.
explain what the truth was.
Right. Like you lose your shit and you're like, I'm leaving. And guy who did nothing wrong stares at you with a blank look on your face and lets you leave and go to your grandma's house in Toledo or whatever it is, like for 3 weeks. How does that happen?
Oh, that's not.
Even
I
if
have-
it's leaving for 2 hours, don't leave. Like,
Right.
just stay home and talk about it.
I have a feeling that that's when you storyboard a movie, and that is where one section physically of a story happens, and then they go to the next section where they miss the transition.
Right.
And if they included 30 seconds, like if you want to make movies about things that happen in real life, all of these things, everybody I've ever talked to about where they make a movie, they all say it come like conversation. Garrity put it best, actually. I'm going to go back to this guy because I've got a huge crush on him now because you guys should watch his movies. You'll love them. They are based in real life. They have a lot of awkward and real life situations and love and fights and all this, but that's what forgetting your point sounds like.
You were going back to the when you're having an argument, someone doesn't just let someone else leave for weeks at a time, and you were talking about the storyboards. And
Yeah, so in that
Transition.
the transition phase is missed, and that's where it's lost on the audience, where we're like, well, no, we don't do that, but you have left out the part that we do that we would emote more to for the sake of cost, time, whatever.
Sure.
So is it maybe something that, if there's a big studio head listening to this podcast and they're a big fan and they download it every week and they tell everybody about the Real Debaters, it's the best podcast in the world, Liz listening to this?
Hashtag real debaters.
Yeah. Like asking your fans a little bit more, like surveying people about a script, maybe. Like, yes, everybody gets into a yes moment. They don't want to challenge shit. They're like, well, I agree with
But
that.
now here's a question: do movie producers and movie makers and storytellers want you to leave the movie satisfied, or do they want you to leave with some sort of something that irks you that maybe keeps it in their mind?
I'm okay to be irked. So I'm in the movie. I walked in on my partner, and he's in a compromising position with another woman. But
Dick Insider. There it is.
Ba-dum-boom. But really, she fell, and he was picking her up so she didn't fall in the lake and all this jazz. And then I run away. He doesn't chase after me, and we have a chance meeting weeks later, and then we just get back together.
Yeah, but that's fucking stupid.
Right. So that's the part for me that's like, I could be a little bit irked that maybe he didn't contact this woman for a couple of weeks, but when she does see him, she's just like, oh, I missed your face. I missed yours. Let's make out. Like, no, you'd be like, who was that bitch? What's going on?
They don't actually deal with the issue at hand. Yeah.
The fallout is what we deal with, but the inspiration is from the moment that they put on screen, right? They're like, this is inspired by. This was what,
Sure.
so
I think
interesting.
maybe stories like that teach people that you don't have to actually solve a problem. You can just ignore it for
Yeah.
long enough and it goes away.
If
just
you
walk out of the
pretend
room.
It didn't happen.
Totally.
I didn't hear you.
La 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 la. Like,
If-
how long do we have to not have to talk for you to forget this?
If I just focus on work for a couple of weeks, everything will be fine.
Yeah, that's not a good lesson to learn from movies.
All right, we're going to bounce back to the girls here. I just kind of came up with something with one of these lists that I put together here. So we're going to get a two for one. So female representation in a situation with a male. It's kind of where I'm going with this.
Okay.
So, like, for example, is it really accurate when, like, you're the only single girl at a wedding looking for love is that something that you've seen happen in real life, where like you meet the guy at the wedding and you're like, ooh, we met during this big festive love phase, and it's going to last because you've met off that. Second, is that something that a lot of women go through? Like, you're the only single girl.
So like I took
Always
Jackie
a
as
brides-
my date to a wedding
Okay.
because I was certainly not going alone.
It was a great time.
It was
Best
a great
wedding
time.
ever.
There was a poutine bar.
Super bougie. Like,
It was awesome.
got fucked up.
Yeah.
Good times.
She was in the car at midnight.
No judgment.
I would say
regrets.
that might actually be a fairly realistic, they're always in the U.S., right? And U.S. weddings are quite a bit different, where you don't really get like a +1 and all of that kind of thing. And the one thing that I could say might be accurate about movies is that if you're at a wedding, you do feel this overwhelming amount of love in the room. You really do. Like, there's like, even if it's just
Not a funeral.
even
He just might be a genius.
he might.
Yeah, right? Wedding crashers. That's why they. Oh my god. I just figured out that's why they go.
Right.
Because there's so much fucking endorphins on love in the room.
Yeah,
That
like-
like you can literally shit on the dance floor and still get laid.
Did you
Right.
just seriously make that realization?
I'm not kidding. I always just thought that weddings were a fun. Like, I never thought about the love aspect.
Right.
I thought about the party. I thought about the. I'm such a fucking moron. How did I miss that?
But no, like that's
I've never hooked up at a wedding, but I hooked up at a wedding social with somebody.
Oh god, you're
I've
from
never-
Manitoba. That's a fucking rite of passage.
Like, I don't know. Have you ever been to a wedding where there's been single men? Because I haven't. Like, we're in our 40s. We've been to a lot of weddings
Yeah.
over the years. I have never been to a wedding where I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of potentials here.
Not
Like,
a-
never.
That's
not,
kind of what I'm getting
not
at. Like, do you,
one ever.
Because the single girl
No.
always meets the
No.
handsome guy at the wedding, but the
It's
handsome
never
guy at the
happened to
wedding
me.
But,
is
like-
usually dragged there by his fucking
Exactly.
fiance
Like,
or
all
wife.
the
you know?
chicks. No.
right. Or like typically if you're a single guy in Winnipeg, at least we have +1, so you'll bring a girl. So you're not going to be that douchey guy who like brought a girl and then you went home with some other girl and the girl you brought is like, I guess I'll cab. Like, what are you going to...
But like,
right?
even the weddings that I've gone to with like my buddy Kurt, like, we're just friends. We've been friends for 20 years. And even then I'm like, oh yeah, well maybe. And like, still, no, not literally nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been to a wedding
There's not enough
where
lo-
I've met a guy ever.
But I can understand the thought process behind it. That's the one thing I'm going to give them here in the movie is that if I'm a single girl and there's an attractive single man at a wedding, just the pheromones in the air are going to make me be like,
Well, chances are his fucking girlfriend's over in the corner. But anyways,
That-
like, seriously.
I love the split.
his
I love
girlfriend's at
this.
home with their 3 children.
No,
I
I'm
got
serious.
you.
Like, that's the thing. Like, most weddings, like, really, how many?
That's,
single
I
guys
haven't met a
going?
lot of single men at a wedding.
That
to be quite
pheromone
fair.
you're talking about, Chrissy? That's called envy. That's called always bridesmaid, never bride.
I got you.
That's- yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
Not at
yeah.
all.
I'm not saying because they're like everybody's there to guss and sycophant and get all crazy about the couple. Like, it's a lot of good energy
Yeah.
forced into a room that but the trope of handsome man single at a wedding, single girl like that.
No, I don't think. In my mind, it doesn't really
Okay.
exist. Hey, and if you're a single guy and you're at a wedding and you think maybe somebody's single, hey, just go up and have a conversation. Like,
Yeah.
don't be shy. But I've never been to a wedding where a guy's like, hey, what's going on?
It might be the proverbial barrel of fish.
Maybe. Probably not, though.
I mean,
If you are an attractive, actually single man at a wedding, though, fishing with dynamite.
Totally, but
that's called the atom bomb.
Yeah.
That's just throw. You know what? That's not even an atom bomb. That's a smoke grenade. Just throw the grenade in the room, walk around, and just be like,
Grab
boop,
as many as you
boop.
can carry and head out.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking putting firewood in the back of a truck.
Totally.
Oh shit.
Mark is horrified.
I am horrified. You're supposed to bring the fairer sex perspective here.
no.
Hey, this is fair. I don't know what you're talking about, but I think this is okay. Back to 51st dates. So this is the dating stuff that I kind of
Okay.
want to get into. Big, cute, ridiculous gestures because I can't wait for Shauna to show up if she wants to throw her 2 cents in. But like I really do love big, grandiose gestures. Right? I think they're fun. I think planning is fun. I will admit I've gotten lazy about it, but like at first. Right, the setup, the initial like creation of like the guy wants to put something together. Is that something that you appreciate, or is it too weird and creepy, or like where are you with this? And we're gonna start with Jackie on this one and bounce back to you.
So talkative, sorry. After you.
So I think as we've gotten into our 40s, we're all in our 40s here. I think that
Pretend you're Drew Barrymore, damn it.
So nowadays, like I don't think that women. I don't need a grand gesture. Like really nowadays, like interviews when you go on a first date, or first dates are more interviews. Like you want to know, are you normal? Can you hold a conversation? Can you ask me questions about myself? Like a lot of times, not just men, like a lot of people are like all about themselves, just want to talk about themselves.
My boat, my truck.
Totally. Like just want to ask. But you know what? I don't,
ATV.
for a first date, I don't need a grand gesture. I need a couple drinks, maybe some food, see if you're normal. Like an interview, and I'm using air quotations because it really is. Like we're in our 40s. Like we're done with putting up with the crazy bitches and the crazies just because you're hot. Like we're done with that. Like I don't know. That's how I think.
Like the whole perception behind 50 First Dates is he can't fuck up. Really, it's wiped off the slate.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
24 hours later, you
And yet he still keeps making her fall in love with him every day.
conflict. Right. You need that, right?
Yes.
And it's adorable. It is one of my Adam Sandler rom-coms before Adam Sandler, and we try our hardest to give our most honest opinion and not knock, because we always respect that this is art and film, right? It's representation. So, and it's very one-sided, right? You've got 150, 200, if it's an Avengers movie, 1,000 people making something that takes blood, sweat, and tears in 19-hour days and all this stuff. So to criticize it is to not have any respect for it. But Adam Sandler Netflix, not as great as Adam Sandler Happy Madison.
Sure.
And I only say that because now you're on a assembly line, right? Now you're churning and burning.
Yeah.
You've got a deal where the hustle of getting a studio to give you money was for Happy Madison previous. So like
Yeah.
50 First Dates, Wedding Singer. He's very good at conceptualizing the cute and the
Yeah.
fun. But is it weird, Chrissy, when it's cute and fun the first time you meet somebody, or do you prefer the interview series?
I think that if on a first date someone tries that hard, it's going to be red flags for me. The worst first date I ever had was
Mark, tell us.
Well played, sir.
Clever. I enjoyed it.
I still
I kinda
landed the
liked
fish.
it.
so-
And he was only using a hook.
the worst first date I ever had
I love you.
was like flowers and a dinner at Highs and a walk at the Forks
God.
and like all of this
Oh, that's
stuff.
gross.
And the entire time I kept thinking, what's wrong with you?
That's a
Like-
fifth anniversary.
Like, why did
Right?
you calm down?
I remember you said that 5th anniversary. Highs, flowers, walk.
I wish I could get off that easy.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be that easy. But I remember that entire date thinking like there's something wrong with you. Like, why are you trying so hard?
Yeah.
Like, like Friends with Benefits is my idea of a first date. Mark and I's first date, I brought a bottle. No, he had a bottle of wine. I went to his house. We hung out for an hour.
And if that's the flow, if that's the vibe, I've done that before previously. If that, and like your gut tells
Yeah,
you, you're
totally.
like, okay, I'm okay. Like there's a vibe here. I'm throwing out signals. They're catching them. They're responding the right way. I confirm that. That's
Yeah, like we met online, right? So we were like, hey, we need to see each other IRL to make sure that we like each other.
get it over and fucking done with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And I just think that if I had shown up there and the entire house was lit with candles and there was like Mozart playing in the background, I'd have been like,
You'd have been on the
"Ooh."
horn to me, be like, oh, you need to come get me right now.
That
This is where I am.
emergency call would have gone in ASAP.
A trail of rose petals leading down the
Right.
stairs.
Like I'd have been like, I've got the flu. I gotta poop. I gotta go.
I gotta poop. Is that the? Okay, you've just touched on something. The lack of weirdness on screen.
Sure.
Pooping, burping, farting, sneezing, burping, farting all at the same time. Some people do that depending on your age.
The snurburf.
The snurburf, yes, the old snurburf. But like, is it something that does it take away from a man's character on screen when you get to the realities of, like, I've never seen, I think the only time I've ever seen a toilet in a scene is Dumb and Dumber with Jeff Daniels.
Wait, in that
and
same movie you were
Trainspotting.
talking about with the switch, right? With the switch where the people pee in the thing.
Yes.
They're getting all sexy time, and that chick from This Is 40, the funny woman who always plays the wife.
Judd's wife.
Judd, yeah, it's Judd Apatow's wife.
Okay, she's like, oh, baby, and she's in her, like, lingerie, and then she goes to the toilet and leaves the door open and is like, I think that Mexican really messed with me, and she's, like, pooping on the toilet, and he's like, oh, my God.
And then
what's
she
happening?
finishes and she walks to bed and he's like, don't come at me, all those cannons hot.
Okay, now that's what I'm getting at, because that's intimacy on a different level. That's not sexual intimacy. That's you shit with the door open, right?
That's never happening.
No,
in
I
my
don't
house,
think that
ever.
I feel like most females don't want that to happen. So if there's men listening, just close the door.
I can only
Okay.
speak for
Just close it
myself.
up.
Fair enough.
but
Good point.
There's things I don't want to know about, and all of that sound Mark made, that encompasses most of them.
The
We know what
schnurrbert?
happens. Just
Yeah.
just
Now
close
let's
the damn
just,
door.
everybody has their own opinions.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
has their own thing.
Yeah.
So we're not judging anybody out there.
No, gosh,
No,
no.
no.
It's your party. Poop if you want to.
Yeah, yeah. If you're, a scat fan, then I'm not gonna.
If you're an open door pooper, that's
Yeah,
fine with me.
100%.
But most people
water
are
sports,
not.
golden showers.
Yeah, whatever.
We don't want to judge.
No.
Zero
But unless
judgment.
there's consent, just close the door.
Yes.
Just close the door.
Anything as long as there's consent.
Is totally
It's fine.
is
Totally
kosher.
fine with us. We're cool.
We're down with it.
Yes, even you, Utah. So where were we?
I don't know, and I don't care. I like where we are. But yeah, no, like intimate moments. Like, okay, Bridesmaids comes to mind where she shits in.
The sink?
Yeah. Go get the wine. It's okay.
Oh yes.
Yes, when she shits in the sink. But like,
Don't look at me.
don't look.
That's literally would be me crying and screaming, don't look at me.
Oh, I love the scene where she's walking across the street and she just stops and crouches,
That's what I'm talking about. Is
and
that
she just has that horrified look
On
on,
that
her
manhole
face.
cover?
Yes,
No.
I'm doing it.
It's happening.
it's happening?
It's happening.
But you've got a giant. well, there it is. It's on the manhole cover.
That look on her face is just priceless.
But like those moments between couples is what I'm getting at. The sheer embarrassment
Sure.
that does eventually happen. Like, oh my God, I'm trying to. Well, like when I don't really have.
When Mike's thinking of something, I'm gonna ask a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you ladies think of the one sort of reoccurring thing from a lot of these romantic movies and such that they've just got wrong, in your opinion?
Yeah, I like that better. I'm gonna stop thinking.
Like, what's the biggest thing that you think they've got wrong as far as what women really want?
I think it's the overt gesture. I think it's the over-the-top romantic, that the impression given about women is that we want someone who is going to sweep us off our feet and put us on this pedestal and treat us as though we are a glass figurine that can't ever be handled or deal with anything that's difficult or any of those things, because we're just this little gentle thing that needs to be just treasured at all times. So for me, that's one of the things that I think gives us such a poor thought process to women. Like, if you didn't ever have dates and you just watched rom-coms and then you met someone and you lived your life,
Oh God.
your life would always be less than if you held it to the standard of how men treat women in romance movies. And I don't think we want that. I think we just want stability, and we want boring, and we want love and normalcy, and we want our Monday to Friday and fun on Saturdays and grocery shopping on Sundays. We don't want someone who continues to fuck up and then make these overt gestures to fix the fuck up.
Or make overt gestures in lack of something else.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And like, I think that a big thing for me is, and again, like, I hope that people listen. And if you ask somebody
too.
out, if you ask somebody out, so if you're a guy and you're asking a lady out, and be like, hey, do you want to go out? And she's like, yeah, totally. Okay, so what do you want to do? No. Just plan the date.
Yes.
Don't say,
Oh
hey,
my God, hell
do you want to
yes.
go out? And she says yes, and you're like, okay, so what do you want to do? No. Just plan the fucking date. And if she complains about the date that you've planned, maybe you second guess your choice of who you're asking out, but just plan the date. Like, just, Chrissy, am I right here?
No, that's preach
just
all
plan
day,
the
man.
fucking
All
date.
day.
Like, I hate that. Oh, do you want to go out? Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, what do you want to do?
Where do you want to go? What time
You
do
know
you
what
want to
I
go
want
there?
to do? I want you to plan it, and I'll fucking meet you there. Like, that's what I
Yes.
want to do.
Girl, yes.
Accommodation is the ugly stepchild of compromise.
Hey, man, I'll plan the date if I ask you out. Hey, do you want to go
Yeah.
out? Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, why don't we do this, and this? Okay, well, maybe not 4 things, but 2 things on
Yeah.
the first date. But
Multiple choices,
I'm
great.
just saying, like, I don't know. Like, I think that's a big one. I hope that people realize that if you're going to ask someone out, don't be like, yeah.
Drive the ship if
Even
you've
if
asked
you're
to.
not gonna ask
Totally.
them out, right? Like you're in a relationship, the surprise is always candlelit dinner on a rooftop with the sun setting and all that shit. Like I'll be surprised if it's like, hey, when you get off work, go change into your going out clothes because we're going out and you don't tell me what we're doing, and we go to like, I don't want to say at a restaurant because I don't know if you have any affiliations to any. We go
Nope.
to local
Want to.
Winnipeg restaurant. Insert ad here, and then
Who is it? You can talk about it. Go ahead.
No, it doesn't even matter to
Oh,
me. But
okay.
like, it doesn't have to be a
The views of the
5+
guests don't necessarily.
Yeah. We've said that many times. It's okay.
But the idea is that you plan something. You plan something you knew I'd like, which tells me that you know
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I
You've
think that's a
studied
big
your
deal.
you've studied your opponent.
Yeah.
You've
And,
watched tapes.
And I'm like a heart on my sleeve person. It's not difficult to know what I want. I don't think like.
But most women don't want a huge deal. We just want you to know that you've thought about it. That's all.
Yes,
That's all
it.
that we want.
Effort.
Effort.
I don't care if it's like, hey, I know you like this wine. Why don't we sit down and have a glass of it? I just want you to know, or we just want to know that you've thought about it. That's all.
100%.
What about the love that happens on screen? We've talked about the big grand gestures, but conversations that happen around when you're missing out on something, or you want to are there any movies that you feel accurately represent when two couples have to sit down and have a serious conversation about it, right? We've talked about how you get the person. We've talked about the aspects of like, second and third year, but like when you fall in love with somebody, eliminating the grand gesture of it, because that's always what movies do. Have you ever watched a movie where you've been like, you've got that wretched feeling, right? That kind of gives you some sort of semblance of a love conversation you've had with somebody, heartache, all that stuff, I guess, is the seriousness of, because what we see, I'm going to keep talking until I get this right, because what we see on the screen is it's a very brief encounter. So I guess the length of it, right, and all the nastiness that comes from it. ScarJo and what's his face from the one that won.
The Hulk.
Yes.
No, that's not what you're
That's a
thinking
good,
of.
strong woman right there.
Sun's going down, big guy.
I like a strong male lead. I was down for that relationship.
Yeah,
Got a tough exterior.
Okay.
Sorry, where were you at?
I don't know, but I like where we are. When Ryan Reynolds and what's her face fight in The Notebook. So fighting is where I'm getting at and making up.
Because you haven't seen the Notebook.
I haven't seen the Notebook.
You haven't seen
What?
The Notebook? Wow.
What's wrong with you?
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen the Notebook.
You have to go
or
outside.
Dear
Goodbye.
John or any of those horrid movies. I'll tell you something. I know that we're watching. He's just not that into you. But you know when Bradley Cooper's wife finds the cigarettes?
Yeah.
Yes. And she loses her shit on Luis Guzman for him
Well,
being the
no,
problem,
like,
but it's
she's-
really her husband.
But because she's asked him plenty of times and he said absolutely not. And then she's yelled at the workers all this time. I could feel her heartbreak.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So having that.
What is it? The cigarettes were a metaphor
Yes.
for all the lies that he was telling her, right? And I remember her looking and seeing those cigarettes and feeling like she understands now that everything that he's been doing while she's been being an absolute bitch, but trying to renovate their whole home and doing all of these things and everything she's done, she's like, he's been lying to me this entire time while she's been going about it wrong, right? I fully agree with that, but what she thought she was doing was the best for her family. She was trying to make them a beautiful home. And I remember her seeing those and being like, that would be heartbreaking. That's real. That is what would do it for you. That's what would put you over the edge. And I loved all his shit packed on the stairs with the note. Like, that's way more calm than I would have been. There wouldn't have been carefully packed boxes on the stairs or whatever. But like, that's something to me. I don't know if we were supposed to talk about things that got it right or wrong, but that was one of those ones that like hit me.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna just interject something quickly because it came up on the screen while you were saying that. I don't know if you remember this movie. They flash to the opinions from the real life guys. And there's a guy standing down by the water, and he's like, "Yeah, if she hasn't slept with you after the first month, she's not into you. She doesn't like you." It's like, and if she calls you dependable or cuddly, she's not into you. If she takes a shit in your bathroom, she's not into you. She takes home leftovers on the first 3 dates. She's not into you. How do you girls feel about those kind
I'll
of...
I'll just tell you, like, I ninja pooped for like a year and a half.
You still do.
Like,
wait a minute. Hang on here. First of all, ninja poop? Is that where you... Okay, let me ask you what I think it is, and then you can confirm me if I'm wrong. Is that where you mask a poop like it's a pee? Like you go in and you take a shit in the time it takes to take a piss?
100%.
Oh, that's so painful.
And then you like zip yourself out of there and you come out and you're like,
I don't know.
Honestly,
nothing to see here.
I think that most women would just appreciate men being like, you know what? If you need to go, just go. Because there's this stigma around having to go for a poop for like the first 6 months of your relationship.
Nobody poops in movies.
Everybody poops.
Do
like,
I not
oh my
still
God.
do it? Like, I don't think he knows when I go. I'm going to ninja poop probably for the rest of my life. I'm a little old fashioned that way.
It's just one of those.
That's why the spark stays in a relationship.
She hasn't pooped in 4 years. What a gem.
It's not often you find a woman that doesn't have to.
The Bruce Lee of bums.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't
Wang
know. I
Chung
just
down
think that, have a conversation in movies and like in real life, just have a conversation. And maybe that's super weird, but I mean, so many women think it's so offside to have to poop. But we got to poop.
Yeah, no, you do. And if you don't, I have, we need to, are you okay?
And there's also two sides of the coin, right? There's people that
there's two
like
poops.
Chrissy. Well, there's two poops to every story. There's the people like Chrissy that want to leave that mystery in a relationship, if you will.
Yeah.
And there's some people in a relationship that they feel if you can't get to that point where you're completely honest and open with each other, then there's something being held back. And
Hi, that's me.
So really? But so mine doesn't come out of thin air. I was in a relationship where that stuff on that side was completely put out there all the time, and the burping and the farting and everything, and I was like, I'm not attracted to this person. So I have learned what I need, and that's what I exhibit in a relationship. And that's maybe movie wise, that's something that we could also talk about, is that a person rarely puts out what they need. They just expect someone to know what they need. I put out all the time. Me too. but we really like give what we want in a movie, right? But I give what I want in real life because I know what I need in a relationship, and I need to not be farting and burping and pooping and all those.
Is that consistent? Do you think? Do you put out what you want back, Jackie?
I don't know. I think that I don't care if my person farts in front of me. Do I love it? No, but do I realize that it's a bodily function? So if you have to do it, yeah, okay, fine. But do I want it? Like for instance, my parents who were married for 52 years, it was a free for all. It was just farting all the time. Bathroom with the door open. I'm like, do I want that? No.
What's up, Jackie's parents?
Do you? But what Mark's asking is, do you give what you want, or do you give what you think your partner wants?
No, I think that I don't know. Like,
so if I was your partner, if I read the way that you responded to me or acted to me and then mirrored that behavior back to you, do you think that that's what you want?
I think that's sometimes. I think that we give what we want to receive.
Some people don't. Some people like the person to just guess.
No, I mean, I think that.
Why
but
did
I-
you do that? Well, that's what you did to me.
Those-
Well, I don't want what I did to you. I
Those
want you to
people
be
suck.
better.
Welcome to
that's a
every
terrible-
romantic.
I think
Like
that you
that's
give what you want to receive most of the time, and like that's the love language that we all
Yes.
talked
the
about.
5
So-
languages of love.
languages.
Yeah, no, there's 5 of them.
We've all taken
yeah.
them in this room.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's something to be said there for knowing how you like to be loved and knowing what you do to love somebody. And
No,
they
and it's
rarely
important.
are different. They're rarely the same thing.
No, totally.
And the most common mistake is loving somebody the way you like to be loved.
Right.
I
without
have
figuring it out what they want.
I
need.
yeah. Have we all seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yes.
I have, but not in a long time.
Okay, but you know the premise, right?
Yes.
Would you want something like that to happen in real life? Would you want a service? Jackie, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah?
I haven't seen it. I'm
Okay, that's
sorry.
okay.
It's
No, it's okay.
judgment.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll give you the premise. So, when you break up with somebody, there is this tech that allows you to wipe your brain from all of the experiences that you shared with them.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So we'll start with you.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm
that
totally down for
Jim
that.
Carrey, Kate Winslet have a relationship. They break up. She goes and removes him from her brain, and he doesn't know about it. And then goes and sees her, and she's like, "I don't know who you are," and finds out about the
Oh.
service. And he's like, "Well, she did it to me. I want to do it to you." So it is the quintessential question about relationships that if you could wipe away the emotional carnage that comes with one and the good as well, are you better off for it or not?
So I'm the
No.
type of person, and Chrissy knows this about me. When I'm done with you, we're done. Like I don't. There's no back.
Oh, you've
and
been
forth.
doing it
Like,
for years, okay?
I'm done. Like so, yeah. So if someone said, "Hey, you know what? We'll come and we'll just wipe that shit out of your mind." Yeah. Where do I sign? Like, what do I have to pay? Like when I'm done, I'm done.
And this is my bestie, but I'm gonna 100% disagree.
Yeah, and that's totally
the
fine.
previous relationships that I had made me the partner I am today.
They make you stronger. Oh, sorry.
Don't be.
Insert song
That
now.
was amazing. Good segue.
Yeah, Katy Perry's awesome.
Like,
But do you stay with the lessons that you learned?
I do. So I dated the same guy with a different name and face for 10 years.
Yeah, but if someone wipes out
I
your
think
the
I
last
dated his
relationship,
sister.
And so, like, I kept thinking that they were the problem. And then, sappy music, before I met Mark, I took some time to think about what it was that I was doing that was the problem. So the common denominator is me, right? So these are all the bad things that happened in my relationships. And the only thing they had in common was me. So what was I doing wrong? And what did I need to do differently? And then I made a conscious effort to change those things. And my next relationship is different. I obviously also chose a different man. But if I could just wipe out my mind, I'd be like, well, I'm none the wiser for anything, so I'll just keep going for that.
yeah, but do the
bad
lessons
boy.
remain though? If the lessons remain, okay, fine,
They
it's
do.
good to wipe out. But
No.
They don't.
They-
Completely
they-
gone.
Unlike
well,
the
I might change it.
Metallica song, "The Memories Don't Remain."
okay, well then I might
Nothing
change
else
my
matters.
opinion. But
Excuse me. Watch it. Lars likes to sue people for copyright. So even the
sorry.
mention of Metallica.
the band with metal in their name,
Okay.
who won't be named.
I just remember Napster. Any mention
Yeah,
of Metallica,
totally.
lawsuit. Mark, so you say no too?
Because I think all of our experiences, our mistakes, all those lessons we've learned make us the person who we are. So if I hadn't have fucked up and been hurt and done hurting, I don't think it would have made me the person that I think I am today.
I agree with you.
You would have just
Yeah.
been destined to make the same mistake over and over again.
Totally. And then it's 3 movies about Jurassic Park. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, well, Chrissy says
You shouldn't make dinosaurs again.
Yes.
Get
yes.
that through your thick
Stop it.
skull.
Do you see what everything comes down to with me? Is dinosaurs.
Life finds a way.
See, it does. It always does. Chrissy made a good point, and that's what I agree in. I wouldn't know the value of Shauna had I not just knocked on crazy for 10 years, right?
yeah, you're right. You guys are all right. See, I like this dialogue we're having. You know what? I really do.
So
Whereas I would like the specific memories to be gone, but the lessons to live on. Do you guys know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So if
Well,
that
now you
was
just
the thing,
want your cake and eat it too.
totally, I do. Yeah, you're right. I do.
I think
100%.
you have to have the pain of something to learn from it. If
You-
it didn't crush your soul, it doesn't teach you
Totally, I
anything.
agree. Yeah.
you didn't answer though the heartbreak, Jackie. Like, is there any movie on scene where you've emoted with, like, and I've kind of wanted to ask this conversation for a while, but there's always movies that take you through a period of time. Like, I will watch, if I'm ever like, hey, I want to do coke again, I'll watch Requiem and be like, nope, no, I don't.
good.
No, I'm good. And I mean, coke and heroin are two different devils. But the point is that I watched that movie to inspire me to be like, no, you don't want to be a drug addict. So are there any movies that you've watched where you've just been like, it hits you in your heart and you're a little wretched after, you're a little broken?
Is it The Notebook?
I don't know if it's a Notebook for me. Like, I don't know, Chrissy.
Is there a movie that made you cry?
Oh, yeah, lots. No, I cried at The Notebook.
Ugly-
Who didn't?
Ugly cry though, like leave the theater and you're like, it's Thursday and I went to the movie on Monday.
Oh my God, like Bradley Cooper and in
A Star Is Born.
yeah. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, I cried at that too. It was a good. It was a really good movie.
It's
What
really
is
good.
Silver
Fucking. You
Linings
know what?
Playbook?
I didn't get. You didn't see Silver Linings Playbook?
With
Never even- I've never
Oh
even
my God,
heard
it
of
was
it.
so good, Chrissy. What?
She won an Oscar for it.
Jennifer
Who's she?
Lawrence.
Okay, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, Robert De
It
Niro.
was a really good show.
Yeah, it's about a mentally ill ex-husband who gets out of therapy. He's allowed to come live back home with his parents, whose dad is Robert De Niro. And his best friend's wife hooks him up with her sister, and she just got out of a relationship with a guy who committed suicide. And it's two mentally ill
Doesn't
people
sound healthy.
trying to get into a relationship. So it is actually a really good representation of people's shit getting in the way
Yes,
of,
100%.
It's
of
really
like,
good.
you know, and it's the ugly side, right? Where she's messed up and he doesn't know what questions to ask, and he's opposite of Bradley Cooper in anything that you've
which
ever
is
done.
awesome.
But I just
Bradley Cooper plays opposite of Bradley Cooper in every movie.
he does.
I love Bradley Cooper. I'm not gonna lie, he's fucking amazing.
You know, when you say the thing about The Star Is Born is that I believe that the suicide that he commits isn't about him as much about saving her.
I totally agree, and just the love that they feel for each other is like that's where I got like just to love someone that much.
To be like,
What's the other movie that's like A Star Is Born? There's like a country singer guy.
A Star Is Born, the one before, or the one before that.
Is it the one with-
Marissa Tomei falls in love with him, and he's like a.
let's go to the internet
He's
on
an
this. Keep
he's an
talking.
alcoholic, and then he's taking care of her son one day, and he starts drinking, and he loses her son.
Oh my God, Jeff Bridges,
Jeff Bridges, like country
and
proud or country strong.
no, it won an Oscar actually. He won an Oscar for that role.
I feel like it's A Star Is Born before A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
Like,
it's also got Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, yes, and I bawled my face off when she broke up with him, and he was like, I felt his pain in that time, like someone who the pull for the booze is stronger than love and an
Okay, so here
addiction.
I'm just gonna, because you brought up Maggie Gyllenhaal, I'm gonna take us on a little bit of a side thing.
Don't
When
stop
you
looking.
when you what's that?
Just talking to
When don't stop looking.
Oh no, I got
Um,
it. It's
when
it's
you-
Crazy Heart.
Crazy Heart, yes.
When you put characters in a movie that are supposed to fall in love like crazy, and you're supposed to believe that one of the characters is going to do anything for the other character, go to great lengths, everything else, you have to sell me on that person being worth that person doing that, right? And the reason I say Maggie Gyllenhaal is because in Batman, right? I don't,
bye.
right?
I'm
don't
looking forward to this.
sorry, Maggie, you're never going to hear this, so it doesn't really matter. I don't believe her as because she played the same character that Tom Cruise's ex.
Yeah, Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes played. I believed Katie Holmes in that
Katie
role,
Holmes was in the
right?
yeah.
That billionaire Bruce Wayne and the Harvey Dent, lead district attorney,
Yeah.
are fighting over this girl because she's the most amazing girl in Gotham City. Maggie Gyllenhaal is not that girl.
No.
Do a better job casting, because I just didn't believe. And if I don't believe that, if like this movie, if I don't believe Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Connelly are a couple, then the whole tension between them loses something to me. Like, I don't think Bradley Cooper would be with Jennifer Connelly in the first place in this movie, because she doesn't exhibit any redeeming qualities that make, and this is just from a movie making standpoint, not a relationship
I get what you're saying.
right? If you show me relationships on the screen, I want to believe that relationship is possible. If this person like risks their life for somebody, you better give me an example of why that person's doing it in a movie.
So I get it. I'm gonna see if
And Maggie Gyllenhaal stood out for me as a horrible casting.
And maybe that's why Crazy Heart felt so real to me, because it's like Jeff Bridges, right? He's like an old kind of drunk singer guy. Like he's not.
He's a washed-up country artist who is doing the hotel touring circuit.
Sure, and she's like a single mom who happens to be passing by, right? But
she's a writer for the local newspaper.
that's right.
Yeah.
And he really tried, and he failed. And I think that is that other thing. Like in this,
That's the fallout.
yeah. Like the wife and He's Just Not Into You really tried, and she failed. And Jeff Bridges really tried, and he failed. And knowing that sometimes your best isn't enough for someone sucks.
Oh, hey, look, Chris Christopherson is in What Women Want, which he was also in the original A Star Is Born. Yeah,
I also have a bit of a problem the casting for Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
You shut your mouth.
as in Kristen.
You shut your mouth.
Right,
This is my
Kristen-
favorite movie ever.
Like Kristen Bell plays her character really well, but I don't believe what's his name,
Jason Segel?
Jason Segel. I don't believe Jason Segel and Kristen Bell as the initial
Like,
relationship.
just
Can I
because
just
an
ask-
attractive gentleman. Like,
But can I ask a question? Didn't Jackie just say that her friend who's not a 10 is that's super funny, gets
He's
all the
super
hot
funny.
broads?
Oh yeah, but I just don't believe they don't show me enough of like why they're together before
Maybe-
I'm supposed to care that they're
Maybe it's
apart.
because his dick's out so soon.
And then maybe he's doing the helicopter too early in the show.
There's never too early to do the helicopter.
no.
And then
Excuse
next
me,
thing you,
as an aside, the helicopter is never something you should do. Please don't do it
please
ever.
don't do it ever.
Thank you. Thank you for
I've got a
listening to my TED
surprise for
Talk.
you.
On behalf of all women, we
Don't ever do it.
Yeah, I think it's
Ever.
funny.
It's not. It's awful.
I mean, it's
It's
funny.
funny. It's funny.
It's funny if you had a dick. That's what. That's
not funny.
on it, and that's the problem. You don't have a
and
dick.
then he suddenly lands. What's her name?
Mila
Mila
Kunis.
Kunis. Right,
She's
yeah,
my
that's-
favorite
That's
ever.
super believable.
Do you want a little bit more building block to what the goofy guy did to the
To win the
bombshell?
girl in the first place.
You don't think that
yeah.
they built it up enough for him to win Mila, though? Like,
to
I
win
thought-
Mila, yes,
Okay.
but not to be with Kristen Bell in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think, well,
What do you think?
didn't they start off as like the low people and they both built their way up to this show?
Yeah, like he wrote the score and she was on that horrid
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, but she's so much bigger than he is in the show. Like she's a personality. And
Yeah,
Mark
she's
also-
an actor, and he's writing a musical for Muppets.
But you also love her.
I do like Kristen Bell.
So I think she's higher on your hot meter in your mind than she is in real life. Like she's cute, but they make sense to me as a couple
Yeah,
if I,
I
look
agree.
at them.
They make sense to me.
I just
too.
like I do like Kristen Bell's personality and everything else. I'm smitten with Kristen Bell.
He is, yeah.
You want them to stop.
I'm also
judging
smitten with her husband, so there's a whole
As
other
smitten,
story.
yes.
the movie Brad Pitt in the baseball movie
Snatch.
What is that called? Money Pit?
Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Damn it.
There's an argument in that movie
With
that
Jonah Hill?
With Jonah Hill, thank you. But there's an argument in that movie where they go against all of the traditional ways of looking at a ball player,
Oh yeah.
and they start to look at the statistics
Yeah.
of a ball team. I think what you're saying, Mark, is you want Hollywood to stop looking at good body, good speed, good form, and start looking at some depth to
Oh yeah.
and some backstory to why Siegel nailed Bell. Not literally, but like you know,
we see it later in the movie. I
Right.
guess I shouldn't.
Yeah.
He does show it, and then you're like, oh, that's why she was with him in the first
because
place.
she regrets the loss.
But I also don't believe Kristen Bell was that aware of him because she comes off as a rather shallow character in that movie.
But she only was because then she was with
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand, who
all the snow.
Oh, this
who was super
Boy.
sexy, and
Absinthe.
like when you look at him, you think, "Oh, this is an upgrade." But then he didn't make her laugh, and he wasn't sweet to
Yeah.
her, and he didn't kiss her forehead goodnight, and all the things that the kissing on the forehead goodnight every single girl wants.
Yeah, I agree.
They do, like, even if they don't want to say they want it, they want
Oh
it.
no, totally. I agree.
I guess the
Yeah.
lesson from that movie, and we can all agree, is that sometimes you don't know what you had till it's gone.
Or you
Yeah.
don't know what you want until you don't have it
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah, you
Can't
don't know what you want.
always get. what
That's
you
got to be a good
want.
transition into something. You got some other questions in there?
Oh yeah, I just deleted everything off the screen when I was searching.
Excellent.
For who was-
Perfect.
so I just need to bring it back up again.
Mark, do you have
delay.
Do you have a scene where it's a loss where you really felt it, like where there was a breakup or something that made you sad that you were like, holy crap, like I've lived that, or I feel that, I resonate with that?
Yeah, because there's crying in a movie where you're like, okay, this is emotional, but then there's crying in a movie that essentially what an actor does is they pull from a previous like situation, harness that emotion, and bring it back up, where a movie would then invoke said emotion out of you that reminds you of a previous time. So if you
That's
ever...
a good question. I don't know.
Like, I remember dry heave bawling with Man on Fire at the end when Denzel Washington dies. That's not a rom-com, but that was like...
Thanks for clarifying.
He took care of her.
What? Are you telling me
He
that...
took care
oh
of
my
her
God.
so much, and like when he died, I could, like, little Dakota Fanning, I could feel that pain from a child. So I'm just wondering if you have one that resonates with you like that.
I'm gonna think on that. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I was
leave
trying
the three of you. I'm just gonna quickly
I was
run
trying
the
to
I
fill
got-
the scrolling air. Okay.
No, I got it. Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. Because, dead air is like rule number 1 on podcasting.
Straight.
I got it here, actually. The hook that Kate Winslet is on in The Holiday.
I never saw that movie.
Never saw that? Okay, so The Holiday, Cameron Diaz, Jack Black, Jude Law, Kate Winslet. It's one of the best romantic comedy / Christmas movies.
Okay.
Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz trade houses. Kate Winslet goes to L.A., Cameron goes to London. Cameron meets Jude Law, which is Kate Winslet's brother. And Kate Winslet meets Jack Black, who is a composer.
That's
and
adorable.
It's this like meet cute after meet cute after meet cute about why Cameron and Kate didn't want to be in relationships, but yet the four of them all end up becoming friends, and it's this great movie. But Winslet is pining after another writer that works at her newspaper, and just watching the devastation that she slowly goes through to then realize that Jack Black's really the guy that she should be with. That hook, that on the hook moment. I'm like, I wasn't walking away crying or anything, but I was like, I know what it's like to be drug along, and you get into
Yeah.
that pining cycle, and then all your friends are like, what are you like? When all your friends and then your family and then like everything is being questioned, I was I completely sympathize with her and her character in that regard. And it's very simple, but like her staring off at him, and then like he gets engaged to another woman at the newspaper. Yet like the previous scene, he was like, oh, thanks for your Christmas gift, doesn't give her one, walks out of the room, announces he's engaged. Like just a lot of like continuous beat up. And maybe that's because she doesn't voice her opinion enough and she's waiting for him to pull the pin. But you eventually have to tell yourself, this is going nowhere.
Which movie is it?
The Holiday.
Oh yes.
I
yes,
think
yes, yes.
the difference is that in real life, you tell somebody what you want and they still don't give it to you.
Yeah,
So,
that's real life.
Right? Like in real life, you say, I'm not looking for a casual relationship. I'm looking to find a partner. And that person says to you, oh, yeah, me too. And then they don't. They may be looking for a partner, but the person they're looking for isn't you. But you're good enough in the time. Right? And then... Sorry.
I love my hallway. It's a 50-50 chance of where you have to go
It
pee.
really is. And so then, you tell yourself, well, this person just didn't want a relationship. It wasn't me. There wasn't anything wrong with me. They
Yeah.
just didn't want a relationship. And then, like, you see them, like, a month later, and they're like, yeah, I just moved in with my blah, blah. And you're like, oh, so it was me.
That's hard.
That is something I do think does not get represented enough in movies. Oftentimes, the person comes to this realization that this person who's been chasing them is the person they wanted all along. And I think movies could do better and still pull at heartstrings and still resonate and still be watchable if we could see more men and women try to be in a relationship with the wrong person and have that wrong person be like, I'm not actually a bad person. I just wasn't that into you.
It's not about you being bad. It's about the two of us not being compatible.
Yeah, or like I'm just
I
not.
felt that was me for a little while in my life. I was like, good luck, Chuck.
Me too. That's how we ended up together.
Everybody's relationship right after mine was perfect.
I said this in the last one. Did you ever see Closer, Chrissy?
No.
It is a very good representation of emotional fallout and what happens during a breakup and how people try to come back and they realize what they've lost. And there's the perfect scene about cheating that you're asking for, where Clive Owen. It's Clive Owen, Julia Roberts, Natalie Portman, Jude Law.
Maybe I have seen it.
I saw it on a first date. That was the story I told. Like I was
Oh
like,
my
we should go
God.
see this for a first date. And then we both left and we were like questioning our own relationship skills.
Right.
'Cause
Let's never do this again.
it's all about cheating and backstabbing. But what ends up happening though is Owen has a feeling that Julia Roberts has cheated on him. And he presses and presses and presses, and then he gets all of the dirty details, like what did he taste like, what position, and then as soon as she's done and she thinks that this is going to get somewhere, he's like, all right, now fucking die, you fucking slag, and walks out of the room.
Right.
That is what I feel most people want to do. Whereas in a movie where cheating and relationship drama comes into play, it's somehow always easy.
Let's never speak of this again.
Yeah, like what Mark was saying, right? Where you're like, you run, we recognize that one of us, like the Ross and Rachel break in movies, right? Where they both go their separate ways, but then one person ends up sleeping with somebody else. And as much as it is a trope, it actually is something that happens in real life.
For sure.
I feel that that's one of those things. It's like, yeah, we were on a break and everybody knows what a break is a great way to convolute everything that you've worked for.
But is a break an actual thing? Like, have you ever? I
Not,
personally
I don't
have never said, "Let's take a time out from each other. We're not going to date anyone else. We're not going to see anyone else. We're just not going to see each other." I've never had that. I've broken up and gotten back together.
Yeah,
But I've
but
never.
breaks are always in movies.
Yeah, like who
yeah,
says
I don't think
that?
breaks are a thing though. Like who
No.
says, we're just gonna take
Take
week.
5. Like what?
we're on a timeout right now,
Yeah.
so I can fuck whoever I want. That's not a thing.
No.
No, that's hall pass. But like,
That takes me back to Friends. We were on a break.
yeah, that's the totally
No.
like, and that's the thing is that you see it in movies, but I don't know, like when people say we need to take a break, it is step 1 to break up.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
agree.
And I also don't believe it's a thing. Like, I don't believe that you step back from your relationship and ever then again step forward.
You step back when you meet somebody and you question going forward, because you've gone a couple steps forward, and then you're like, meh, do I get deeper or do I not? But you don't go 2 or 3 years in and then be like, we need to take a break. You break up
No.
with me or not,
Yeah.
right? And that's
A break is everybody's excuse for really just taking the time to realize that you're not supposed to be together. Just everybody's mental timeout.
But like in every romance movie,
there's always a break.
the break.
No, the cat has walked.
This is the
cat.
wrong cat.
Yeah, no. Well, no, a cat walking in the room usually symbolizes we are at the hour and a half mark, and we are at hour 22 right now.
Oh.
So that's okay. They're saying
That
something.
cat is like a stopwatch.
Seriously, it's like a sundial. So,
But yeah, like in movies, every break always ends in good. And it would be really great to see a break end the way a break ends. Like, people are sad. Someone moves on to someone new. The other person is heartbroken.
or cheating always results in one more chance. Way too easy.
No, cheating does not always result in one.
Not in
Cheating?
Jackie's world.
No,
It's a hard no.
I agree.
When there's
It's-
cheating, it results in get the fuck out of my life. I hope you die and go fuck yourself.
Oh, so you're okay with it? Got it. Okay.
No,
Kind and
cheating is a
understanding.
non-negotiable. Cheat on me, you're done.
I I knew this was going to be a great thing to put on the
What's
background.
cheating?
What's cheating?
Cheating is to me, cheating is anything. If you're inappropriately texting, if you're kissing, if you're whatever, like
Listen, if you kiss her, you might as well fuck her. Straight up.
no kissing.
No, I'm just saying, if you've already gone to the point of kissing, you might as well just bang her.
If
because
you
it's the
think
same
that
shit.
kissing someone else is okay, then
Bang
you might
her.
as well fuck her because we're done.
because we're already done.
Yeah.
So that like business of like, I was caught up in the moment and I
was
kissed her.
drunk and we just kissed.
No,
I hope you enjoyed it because it's the last fucking kiss you're gonna get from
Yeah,
me,
my-
bit.
My argument always is
I don't agree.
Really? Tell us, Mark.
okay, you're on your own, buddy.
No, I don't. I think
No, tell
I
us.
think some relationships are stronger than one mistake.
See,
oh, I didn't say we couldn't work it out, but I said if you're gonna kiss her, you might as well fuck her.
Yeah, I know that's what you said. That's not what Jackie said.
That's right.
No, you're
Jackie
right.
Jackie
Jackie
stopped
said,
the kid.
"Don't let the screen door hit you in the house."
No, I
You
no,
and
I'm
your
sorry.
shake it
Like,
out.
I couldn't forgive you from that. Like, really, like kissing is such a personal thing, and like if you're gonna cheat, you might as well cheat all the way because if you cheat, we're done.
No, I get it, and that's the thing that okay, like movies aren't really going unless you're me and your whole entire backbone is based on everything you've seen on screen, and then you find out in real life it's not like that, and you get a sharp right left across the chin one day. But I'm better for it. I'm better for it.
Hold your thought just for 1 second.
Yeah.
There was a show, I don't know if anybody remembers it. It was a show that was on HBO years and years and years ago, where the boy's parents didn't really show him any affection, and he was basically raised by TV, and like TV parents. So all of the clips, like during the show, would be flashbacks to lessons that he'd learned in movies, and he applied that in his life. It just reminded me of what you said there. I'd have to take a look at what that show was, but it was an early HBO show.
Somebody owes me royalties. That's my fucking childhood.
And it starts as this little kid, and it's through the years, and he's in front of different TVs, and it's basically being raised by the television and movies, and that's the little clips in his life.
I gotta find that show. That's interesting. But I mean, it's also something that happens. But I don't assume that movies have an extremely tight grip on moral fiber. They do influence, right?
Yeah.
But they're like a million rom-coms isn't going to make a 1% change in how humans interact in relationships, because eventually they'll just get so fed up with the bullshit they're feeding themselves that they'll eventually, learn something. But Wheezy boy here. I always have a problem though with the cheating, because cheating in real life is months, almost years of therapy, communication, digging into things that you didn't know were a problem.
Yeah.
None of which is portrayed on the screen, right? And then you get into this like quick fix, which may or may not just be like the guy one day is like, oh, well, I cheated on you. Can I just take you out for dinner and everything will be
totally.
okay?
Everything's fine. I'm not saying cheating's not something to overcome, but for me, it's just not something that I'm willing to. The lack of disrespect for me is greater than any type of forgiveness that I could possibly put forth.
No, I completely agree. Well, there was one last thing that I know Chrissy wanted me to have on here.
So do you think, while Mike's taking a look there, should movies, I think he just touched on it a little bit, do you ladies think that movies should reflect what's currently going on in society, or should movies attempt to influence the direction they want to see society go in? Which would you rather see more of?
Good question.
Super slippery, though. So what I think movies currently display is this idea of romance. And I talked about this a little while ago, and I think that the idea of romance that they're putting out is wrong. I don't think that it's something anyone can fulfill. So then if you, like you were talking about, the kid who didn't have any parents and watched TV, if you watch a romantic comedy, and let's say you're a single woman or you're in a 10-year relationship, you're like, my life is nothing like this, and this is super disappointing, and I'm missing out on everything. Or to me, I would love to see, I know that real life has to be bumped up times 10 to make it something worth watching, but can't it be real life bumped up times 10 instead of this fake narrative? I think it should be what's closer to real life, but on crack. As opposed to this made up thing. Because I understand that, like, mine and Mark's relationship isn't movie worthy. Like, there's a lot of watching Ink Master and making food. Right? And that's not good TV. But, like,
us is Chef's Table and making food.
well, we watched all the Chef's Table, so we're out of that. So we have to go to the next one. But totally, right? Like, lots of watching Netflix, sitting on the couch, walking the dog, and making some food, and no one wants to watch that movie. But could you take a real life and just really amp it up, make the things that are crazy 10 times crazier, but make it real? That's something I would be like. It's well known that I don't really like TV because I find scripted TV to be super horrid to watch.
How do you feel about Hallmark movies?
Like,
the
They're
backbone.
awful.
Like,
the worst thing ever.
Like, I can't.
Corey watches them all the time. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
My IQ is like 14 points lower.
Is that the worst representation of
Yes.
romance in movies?
It's a lot.
To me, it's the worst
It's a lot.
representation of women, because every single woman is looking for love. And I don't
In all
think
the right places.
but above all else.
Usually at the Christmas tree lot.
And I don't think that I don't think that women
Fucking
are
Christmas
just
tree lot.
out there running around looking for love 24/7. Before we came here, we talked about how to be single and how upset both Jackie and I were at that movie because we saw the title, we saw the synopsis, and we thought, well, cool, this is going to be about a woman who chose to be single,
Being single.
and how she was going to live her life as single.
No,
and
no, no, no.
instead, the entire movie of How to Be Single should have been called How to Find a Man.
Yeah, just how to be like broken up, and you actually really want to find a man, you want to get that man back, but actually you just maybe okay
you
with
kind of want that
whatever
other
man.
guy. Yeah.
It's not how to be single at all.
So-
And there's nothing wrong with that, but maybe just coin it how to be broken up with, and
Also
just
trying
looking
to
for
find a
a new relationship. I
And
don't
willing
know,
to take whatever you can get.
just coin it by the way of most people don't want to be by themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that, but some people do. Like some people are okay with just being by themselves. It's okay.
It's okay. I'm totally off track now. I forgot your question. 'cause
What
it was
about
so
you,
long.
Mark?
I was saying, should movies mirror what's actually going on in the world, or should we set an ideal and try to influence the world? And it's interesting you bring things up because I always watch movies where there's sort of the douchebag asshole that gets the girl, and there's always the nice guy that's trying to get the girl potentially away from the asshole. And I always felt like that just mirrored my world as opposed to gave me a solution in my like the ones, for instance, that stand out. Wedding Singer, right? The douchebag Gulia, right? Or
Julia Gould.
Julia
right,
Gould.
or Wedding Crashers with
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's character,
Yeah.
right? And it's always the other, like Owen Wilson's character Owen Wilson's character, right?
Yeah.
He started as like kind of trying to meet girls, but he's really the good guy and wants to win her over.
It's the same thing in Old School, right? She's with that douchey guy.
Yeah.
And Luke Wilson is there, like the super good guy
Exactly.
who looks bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they never really gave much of a solution other than just keep being the good guy and eventually something will happen. But
Yeah, but we have friends that are trying to be the good guy, and maybe you just have some confidence. Ask someone out. Plan the date.
But they don't know how to be the good guy.
They do know how to be the good guy. They just choose not
We
to.
also
Women don't want a pushover. They want a nice guy that still exudes confidence.
We also know a lot of girls who are still out there, like who still think it's kind of fun to date a bad boy.
That's
Like,
yeah, but
It's
sweet
only fun
Jesus.
because you have no idea where it's going. Like, it's not fun.
that's not fun. I'm sorry, but it's not fun when you get to be 40 whatever.
Or you don't think that you deserve love.
Maybe it is what it is, but in any case. Sorry.
But why is that such a trope? Why do girls go for the bad guys?
Because then they're never disappointed. So when a girl goes for a bad boy and he treats her like shit, she's like, yep, this is totally what I
Yes,
expected.
what
I got
expected.
exactly what I
That
was
guy's a
looking for.
douchebag.
I knew he was going to treat me like
Oh my
crap. I
God.
expected him to, and he did. If I date a nice guy and he treats me like crap, there's something wrong with me.
So is it you can't be hurt by it?
You can't be
Yes.
surprised.
it's atypical. It's everywhere. It's known. It's on the record. Whereas where somebody is completely something you don't see coming, they have the potential to let you down.
Like if you did something really super mean, it would be very surprising because that's not the person.
No,
you are.
totally. I would be like, oh, really? Mark did that? That's
Right.
ridiculous.
But and you too, like both of you, if you did something really mean and hurtful, it would be shocking. But if someone was dating someone that we were like, well, that person's pretty douchey anyway, so it's not surprising.
The reconciliation a man comes to when he does do something douchey on screen, he never apologizes for, really. It's always, I'm sorry for what I did, but have you learned anything?
Or
Yeah,
this is who I
exactly.
am.
Yeah, like
Sorry
there's,
for who I am.
there's no absolution to like, I did this, I'm sorry, I recognize it. I'm just sorry.
Do you
No,
know
there's
that?
there's not a lot of I'm sorry for doing what I did. It's I'm sorry I got caught
Yeah,
doing what
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you
Is
know
a
that-
famous movie.
That's a definite
the
trope.
one movie that might be outside of that is Crazy Stupid Love. Like Ryan Gosling's character in that movie changed because he met the right person and he wanted to change. And that for me that's always been the one male character that I was like, she wasn't
I know,
crazy bee. She didn't do anything stupid. She wasn't a maniac. She was just like, first of all, I love Emma Stone. I love her with all the pieces of my heart. But she was like just herself, and he just changed because he was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore because I met this woman that I love. That's real. Not, I dated this crazy psycho broad and then I changed because she forced me into it.
I agree with Chrissy's sentiment on that. Like, people can change their spots. Like, when we talked about, when I think about movies that got it right, He's Not That Into You had a lot of male characters that got it right. We got Ben Affleck
on the screen right now. It's the scene where he realizes the error of his ways about marriage.
I love this scene.
And he truly recognizes the mistakes he's made.
Yeah.
He loves her.
Her dad gets sick, right? And then he's doing the dishes. Oh my God, I bawled my face off.
And
when
that's
she walked
exactly
in there
what.
and he was doing the
That's how we started this whole thing. Was fucking dishes.
I want you to
That's
want to
right.
do the dishes,
Right? Like,
he goes there and actually helps, as opposed to the rest of her family, which is just
Yeah.
expecting her to. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
like, that's amazing. Like, but you look at the other characters, like the guy the Connolly character, he's a womanizer and he just wants to bang bitches. And then all of a sudden he meets this girl and he's like, yeah, okay, she's
No, I think
pretty
isn't
alright.
that Justin Long's character? Isn't he the?
I'm sorry. The,
yeah.
The
Yeah.
bartender.
He is the
Bartender, yeah.
He's
You're
the
right.
desperate
I'm
guy.
sorry.
Long is the douchebag. Affleck is the uncertain one. Cooper's the cheater.
Cooper, and I love Cooper too.
Before
I really do. I love him.
we got to start wrapping this up here
Yeah.
because I got a house we got to go look at. But
Oh, right.
here's a question to end on. This one's a fun one, and it's inspired by He's Just Not That Into You. What should Bradley Cooper have done when he stuffs ScarJo in the closet and Connolly comes in the room?
Oh my
What is the
Oh my
real
God.
life version
Hey,
of
don't
that?
cheat on your fucking
Okay,
wife, mate.
no, obviously, but like there comes a point, like when you were mentioning, Jackie, where you're cheating and you end up using the excuse, well, I didn't know what I was doing. You're not an autonomous vehicle. You're not a fucking Tesla. You know what you're doing, right? You made a choice. You acted on that choice. Left foot, right foot, whatever. You put them in your mouth. You fucked up. So, but in real life, though, how does Cooper? What does Cooper do? Does that where you like? He put her in the closet. So obviously he's got another like
Literally put baby in the closet.
literally put baby in the closet
Like
because that
my-
is such an outlandish scenario that
Sure.
would never fucking happen.
Like, in what world does he have sex with his wife? Like, he shoos her out. He shoos the wife out. Says, hey, baby, I'll get you at home.
I got a conference
No,
call.
he doesn't. No, he stuffs ScarJo in the closet.
No, I know, but in the movie
Oh,
he does. But
yeah.
in real life,
Yeah.
he shoos her out the door and says, hey,
think-
baby, we'll get at this at
Like,
home.
I think his best bet is, like, let's do something kinky, and he blindfolds her, and then he shoos that one out so she doesn't have to listen while she's in the closet. Would at least make something a little bit halfway nicer. However, in real life, they just wouldn't let that wife in there, right? Like, I don't know.
No.
What does he do? I can think of all sorts of things. None of them are acceptable to say. So, like, isn't that the time to come clean right there?
I don't think
Truly,
it is, but
in a movie, wouldn't that be an awesome time to come clean? Like,
In a movie, it's paving its way to the third act, but in real life, that's where it reaches its fucking climax, and you're like, okay.
in real life, she's a client.
no, in real life, he says, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I can't do this right now. You got to go. I'll hit you at home.
I'll
No,
hit
I'm
ya at
serious.
home.
Yeah.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Like, you.
What about I agree. You guys are right on that topic that he's a dick. There's no winning. There's no right answer to how do you deal with your girlfriend in a closet while your wife walks in, because you should never be in that situation.
No, you should.
Chrissy, you brought this up. This scene on the TV right now reminding me of it. Ladies, I know you don't want men that are non-committal, and you don't want a guy that's asking you to move in on the second date. When is the right time for, like, let's use it as a movie basis, right? Because this character,
E.
I love
Connolly's
this
character
scene
E
so
on
much.
here with Scarlett Johansson is basically asking her to move in with him. He's putting himself out there, but she's just not picking it up. Is there a right time, or is there a movie that did it the right way where there's that transition? Is it up to the man to make that move? Do you drop the subtle hints and it's his move? Do you take the lead? What do women think?
I think what you say is,
What do women want?
So my lease is up in the next 60 days, and I'm just wondering if you want me to sign another year.
That sounds familiar.
Well, I tell you what happened to me, and it was, oh hey baby, you know, we can get a $400,000 mortgage. I'm like, well, I guess maybe I should sell my house then. Like, no, I think that once you say I love you, and once you guys have established the fact that you're gonna be together, things just.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. I think that truly things happen more organically than they do in movies. I think that people take a little bit longer to say I love you than they do in movies.
Mm-hmm.
People take a little bit longer to figure out what they truly want. But once they know, once you and your person look at each other and you say I love you, and I love you is like a big deal, right? We don't just throw that out anymore like we did when we were younger. And when you're sleeping in my house 2 nights a week and I'm sleeping at your house, and our biggest complaint about is how we're like sharpieing our shit from one place to the next, right? That's when it's organic to just be like, hey, we should make our lives one. And I would love to see more of that, you know, as opposed to like the constant fights about you have a drawer in my bathroom and blah blah blah. Like if you love someone, like, you know, you see on a movie, right? Like, oh god, they put their toothbrush in my toothbrush holder. If you're super into someone, and this is making me a bit sappy, but you like seeing their toothbrush in your toothbrush holder. Like in the beginning, you're like, oh, that's my person.
Those are the things that eventually show up, and you're like, okay, all right, I'm okay with this, right? But like putting it out there like Connolly does in this, where it's not even I love you, it's I love you, let's move in together. Like,
no, it's I love you. I think you're amazing. I think you're super hot, but hey, let's get together. No. I don't know, I think subjectively, like every couple knows when it's their time to,
for sure,
be together.
What if when you're dating somebody and they have like some homeless person living in their house already that has a toothbrush in their bathroom? When's the right time to address that issue? Just curious, Chrissy.
Is there more to that? Is that?
You know what? Sometimes your best friend goes through some life problems, and you are a soft place to land.
Literally, we both are, buddy. We're a big trampoline.
No, she was the trampoline.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
I remember saying to Chrissy, I was over at her house one of the first times, and I went to go I brushed my teeth or something there, and there was a roll, a tube of toothpaste, and it was literally like just crumpled up, like handprints in it, and there was toothpaste all over the outside and caked on and all over the counter, and I'm like, what sort of heathen uses psychopath uses a toothpaste container like this?
It was not me.
And she said, oh, that's not me, that's this other person. I'm like, so somebody else lives here? Like,
you know who we're talking about, right?
This is another guy that has and he showers and does laundry at your house, and should I be concerned about this?
He lives in a motorhome. Give him a break.
No, that's the problem with moving in together, because literally, like, Corey's like, you're too aggressive with the toothpaste. You need to like settle down, and I'm like, what the fuck,
But you know,
man?
wouldn't you love to actually see that in a movie? I know we need to wrap up, and we're wrapping.
No, we're totally wrapping. But you know what?
Yeah.
Like when you first move in together, and everybody's like on each other's nerves about the little shit.
Like putting the toilet paper roll on backwards.
Oh my God! It goes over, not under.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't even know. I just put it on.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
The person who sits, who's eye level with the toilet paper, should get to choose which way it goes.
It's over, Chrissy,
That's
not
it.
under. Always.
Cool. That can be in your house.
Every time I use toilet paper, I'm sitting.
Next, continuity and script on screen.
Those, you know what? I honestly think I love movies that would deal with those little, somewhat insignificant parts of relationships as opposed to the big parts.
Yeah. Isn't that why This Is 40 was so funny?
Yes.
It's a collection of the right moments instead of the dreams that they think people have and emulate to. Because a Hallmark is, sadly, probably more often than not, a Hallmark movie speaks to more people than it doesn't.
But do you think that it speaks to them because that's what they wish their life was?
No, it's because it's painted so pretty and shot so well and lit so perfectly that it looks like the perfect unclaimed life that you're waiting to get to, where eventually when you get there, unless there's a director and a makeup artist and a set team making all of
fake
these
snow.
fake snow, which is dried potato flakes. It doesn't happen, right?
Right.
It is scripted that way on purpose, and life is beautiful because
what do
it's
you
not.
think about that? Those housewives that have been married for 10 years that are sitting at home watching those Hallmark movies. Are they not? Are they hoping that their
sad?
relationship one day is going to change into
Right.
that? Are they sad that knowing that that's what they're never going to have?
Well, our email address is therealdebaters@gmail.com. So if you would like to tell us,
But I'll tell you that sometimes when I watch those movies, especially when I was younger, I was like, well, I guess no one really loves me.
Ooh, an unrealistic representation of love.
yeah,
on the
Yeah.
screen.
which if
like-
it doesn't happen in real life, then it must not exist. If
Right.
no one loves me like the Hallmark movie couple loves each other, then love must
Man,
not.
if no one loves me like E loves Scarlett Johansson.
Ah,
Like, I'm not even talking about the really overt ones, right? But like, just like he would do anything for her, and no matter how ridiculous she is, he'll do whatever it takes. Like, you grow out of that as you become an older woman, but as a young woman, there are times that you look around and you're like, I guess I'm not good enough to be loved like that.
I think that for me, the big thing is love who you love, like what you like. You want someone that's
dance who you came with.
You want someone that's
Dance
tall,
with the
you want
girl you
someone
brought.
short, you want someone that's heavy, you want someone that's slim. Like, it doesn't matter what you like what you like. And don't be ashamed in liking what you like. That's my
That's stamped,
I don't know, I just think
signed,
that.
sealed. No, it's a great way.
You
of
like
thinking.
what you
Yeah.
like.
No,
And all leading men should be played by Chris Hemsworth.
okay.
I'm just going to leave it on
Hems.
that note.
Hems.
Break-
Hems. That's what
Hems,
I said.
Hems. Just abs.
I thought you said
abs
Helms.
is fine.
No.
No, I say Helms. She said Hems.
Well, maybe we should wrap it up here, Mike.
Yeah, you know
we
what?
could go on
yeah,
forever.
we could. I could, and I would love to continue this, but the house hunting.
You have to go buy a house.
Well, yeah, maybe we'll buy one. I don't know. It's Saturday afternoon. Perfect day. It's that and Kingo Bingo, Kinsman Bingo at 5:30.
If
Oh,
we're
we got bingo cards.
You got bingo cards?
Oh, fuck yeah, we do.
Yeah.
if we're going off of movie love stories, Mike, you would go to that house and then you would spring it on Shauna that you had already bought the house. And
Carry her over.
She's in the other room, man. Can you just leave the fucking shit alone?
If we've learned anything from movies,
yeah, I purchased it.
it's the
Yeah.
big romantic gesture.
Yeah, it's property that you get to do whatever you want with. It's like 20 acres just
Oh,
outside the perimeter. That would be the thing.
could
But-
start a hobby farm. Goats.
Goats, yeah, no, goats, chickens, pigs, anything that is edible once it gets too big, basically.
All the edible animals.
All the edible animals that you eventually just get too old and you're like, all right, fine. And anyways,
Petrow's edible petting farm.
yes. Well, what do you do when you're done
before
with
it's
them?
dead.
Yeah, pet it before it's dead. That's the
Massage
slogan.
it. Massage it nice over there, kids.
Yeah.
Make it tender.
Why are there 12 children touching that pig? Oh, it makes the meat
Make it
softer.
Kobe.
Turning that fat fucker into a decent pork chop. Anyways, thank you everybody for listening to another episode. Thank you to Jackie and Chrissy for coming on and giving us your 2 cents on accurate representation of men and love and women in film. I feel so much better about life that we're finally getting that
Thank you
side.
for having differing opinions from
yeah.
a woman's point of view,
Thank
too.
you for having us.
Yeah,
It's
for a
fun.
sample size.
Who knew
this
that women had their own opinions?
was on film,
Who knew?
Say it isn't so.
Oh my goodness.
right? This is such a I'm awake on things.
You're woke.
I just didn't
Oh,
want to.
so woke, I need a nap.
Yeah. So if this is your first time listening to the show, you can follow us on social media at Real Debaters. That's Twitter and Instagram, and it's spelled REEL. As I said earlier, you can email us any of your ideas, topics, ideas of what we've talked about. Anything that you could put into an email, you could send it to therealdebaters@gmail.com. Follow us online at therealdebaters.podbean.com. That's our website. What do we got coming up? Oh, yeah, September 28th. We are going to be at the Park Theater.
Come join us at the Park Theater to watch the original animated Transformers
I'm coming.
cult
Yeah,
movie.
I think
night.
everybody's coming.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this right now and you're from Winnipeg, Cult Movie Night is September 28th at the Park
Let's
Theater.
roll.
Let's roll. Autobots, roll out. 7 o'clock, we'll be in the lobby talking about it. If you see an open microphone, it will be COVID friendly. We will wipe it down so you can come talk on it, express your opinions on the show, and then 8 o'clock, we're going to roll out inside, and watch the movie. I have been Michael Petrow. To my left has been
Jackie.
Chrissy.
And
Mark.
we're
Cowell.
gone.
I want to blow bubbles in cider.
That's weird. That shit's got to come out at some time, and it's not going to be good. Maybe it's just cider. It's okay.
I'm coming out with a new line of apple ciders called Bubbles in Cider.
Strong,
it's like a
strong bubbles in cider.
strong bubbles in cider. It's kind of like it's a hyper carbonated cider.
Or could it be champagne mixed with cider?
Oh,
bubbles
champagne
in
and
cider.
bubbles in cider.
Bubble. Have you guys?
Aren't you glad we drank a whole bunch
Oh,
before we
I actually am, because it's social lubricant, right? So
Yes.
it makes everything really easy. But
Yes.
just before we talk about what we normally talk about, I'm still on this champagne bubbles and cider thing. You can't put that in the room and then be like, oh, let's move past
Yeah,
that.
bubbles in cider.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen that one skit with Justin Timberlake on SNL where he pretends to be a porn star and they're doing the champagne
No.
commercial
No.
where they're all the skit makes fun of the fact that porn stars are idiots. So what ends up happening is they just have this whole it's two porn stars who are promoting a bottle of champagne, and it's Moe Blanc, but they can't pronounce the name properly, so they're like, drink Murray Povich, drink Michael Jordan, and that's the whole bit, right? So but it makes, because you're like bubbles and cider, because there's obviously the sexual euphemism attached,
Yes.
which is where my brain goes. Not as funny as
Is
I
there?
thought it is.
What's
Oh,
wrong with you,
oh!
Mike?
Bubbles and cider.
Oh, jeez. I didn't even get that.
Are you
No.
seriously? Okay. Thought I was alone out there.
In Minnesota, I had a Dickens cider.
What's a
A Dickens cider. That's the brand. Dickens cider.
when it was presented to you, did
Yes.
they,
Could I get a Dickens cider?
and what did they say?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Make it two.
Would you like to?
Make it
Would
two.
you like it? Would you like a double?
We have a 2-for-1 on today.